allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let me tell you what I wish I'd known when I was young and dreamed of glory. Let no control who lives, who dies, who tells your story.
President Jefferson, I'll give him this. His financial system is a work of genius. I couldn't undo it if I tried. And I tried.
Who lives, who dies, who tells your story. President Madison, he took our country from bankruptcy to prosperity. I hate to admit it, but he doesn't get enough credit for all the credit he gave us. Who lives, who dies, who tells your story.
Every other founding father story gets told. Every other founding father gets to grow old.
When you're gone, who remembers your name? Who keeps your flame? Who tells your story? Who tells your story?
Myself back in the narrative. I stop wasting time on tears. I live another 50 years. It's not enough. I interview every soldier who fought by your side. I try to make sense of your thousands of pages of writings. You really do write, but you're running out of time. I rely on Angelica. While she's alive, we tell your story. She is buried in Trinity Church near you. When I needed her most, she was right on time. And I'm still not through. I ask myself, what would you do if you had more time? The Lord in His kindness, He gives me what you always wanted. He gives me more time. I raise funds in D.C. for the Washington Motion.
Tells my story.
I speak out against slavery. You could have done so much more if you only had time. And when my time is up, have I done enough? Will they tell your story? Oh, sure you never know the story.
Hello, my name is Deborah Sampson, and I was one of our founding mothers. I was so eager to fight in the war that I changed my identity to Robert Shirtliff, because at the time women were not allowed to fight in wars. I was born December 17, 1760. I fought in the war 2 years while my identity was unnoticed. I was very dedicated to the war. I was caught and then kicked out of the war. I died April 29, 1827 at the age of 66.
I am Dolly Madison. I was born on May 20th, 1768, served as a hostess in the White House for Windsor Thomas Jefferson. Then I became his wife. I furnished a new White House when it burned down during the War of 1812. While it was burning, I then saved the portrait of George Washington. Then I died in July 12, 1849, at the age of 81 years old.
My name is Paul Revere. My midnight ride gave the redcoats time to tell lots of people the British was coming.
I am Samuel Adams, the second cousin of John Adams. I believe that colonists were subject to taxation without representation. Believing this, I joined the Sons of Liberty, an underground dissident. This group at times resorted to tarring and feathering British loyalists. Tarring and feathering a person meant pouring hot tar on them and covering them in feathers. The tar was to be peeled off and the skin of the victim along with it.
Hello, my name is Alexander Hamilton. After attending the Constitutional Convention in 1787, I wrote the majority of the highly Federalist papers which argued for the Constitution's revocation. Washington then tapped me to serve as the first U.S. Treasury Secretary, a position I used to push for the creation of a national bank. Later, I was on the $10 bill. Then, in 1804, in a duel, I was killed by Earl, the sitting vice president. What can I say? I guess I'm really big money.
My name is Phyllis Wheatley. I was kidnapped from my home and taken aboard a slave ship when I was 7 years old in 1761. My owner taught me how to read and write. I then grew up to become the first African-American poet. I wrote poems in honor of George Washington, and I met him in 1776 after I sent him one of my poems.
Hi, I'm Martha Washington, born on June 21, 1731. My parents are John Orlando Danridge and Frances Orlando Jones. I am known as the First Lady of the United States. I'm also known as the wife of George Washington. I had 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys. I was taught at home and how to manage the household. I also learned how to sew. I died on May 22, 1802, at age 70 due to yellow fever.
Hello, my name is Thomas Jefferson. Nice to meet you. I was born on April 13, 1743 in Shadewell, in the colony of Virginia. I have 9 siblings. One died as a baby and he was not named. My other siblings are Jane, Mary Elizabeth, Martha, Peter, Lucy, Anna, and Ralph. I was one of the founding fathers of the United States, and I was one of the authors of the Declaration of Independence. I fought in the Revolutionary War and survived it. I died June 4th, 1826 at 12:30 p.m. My resting place is called Monticello. I died of pneumonia.
Hello, my name is Eliza Schuyler Hamilton. I'm married to Alexander Hamilton, and he trusted me during the war, so he wrote me letter after letter about his experience in political thinking. Later, after the war, and after he sadly passed away, I founded multiple orphanages in New York City and Washington, D.C. I also helped establish the legacy of my husband by collecting his letters and writings from other founders. That is why I'm a founding mother.
My name is Abigail Adams. I was born in Weymouth, Massachusetts, November 11, 1744. I am famous for fighting for women's rights. I started when I was 11 years old. When I grew up, I married a man named John Adams, who will soon become the 2nd President of the United States. I died on October 28, 1818. I left my mark on the world by fighting for women's rights and winning.
I am John Hancock. I am an American Revolution leader and a governor of Massachusetts. I wrote my name big on the Declaration of Independence on purpose.
Hi, my name is Governor Morris. I was born on January 30th, 1752. I died on November 6, 1816. I was an American statesman. I was also the founding father of the United States. I then wrote the preamble to the United States.
Hi, I am Patrick Henry. I was born in 1736 on my family's farm in Virginia. I famously declared "Give me liberty or give me death" in 1775, stirring up America's fight for independence.
I am John Jay. I was born December 23rd, 1745, New York. I died May 17th, 1829, Bedford, New York. I am one of the founding fathers of the United States. I am a former governor of the U.S.
I'm Mercy Otis Warren. I'm an author and a propagandist. I am the first woman to write for a public audience. I wrote political poems and dramas. I sympathize with war too. I finished a 3-volume history called A History of the Rise, Progress, and Termination of the American Revolution.
Hi, my name is Benjamin Franklin. I was a skilled author, painter, and inventor. When not designing bifocals harnessing electricity, I was the founder of electricity by putting a key on my kite and getting it shocked in a thunderstorm. I was not one of the U.S. presidents. I am a scientist. I loved to read as a kid.
Hi, I'm Esther Reed. I was born in London. Then I moved to Philadelphia, where I hosted leaders, including General Washington.
Esther once said that she thinks that any power on earth could take it from them, but with their lives. Esther also believed that the government should pay the soldiers for food and supplies.
My name is Betsy Ross. I was born January 1st, 1752 in Philadelphia. I was born in a house called the Old Glory House. I was the 8th out of 17 children. I got married to John Ross, but got killed to a British bomber. Then I got remarried to Joseph Ashburn, but got killed 3 years later from a British ship. And finally, a year later, I got remarried to John Claypole and we had 15 children. After that, George Washington asked me if I would like to make the 13 colony flag to prove that we're the United States of America. Then I died January 30th, 1836, at the age of 84, from natural causes, and that's how I was forever famous for making the 13 colony flag.
Hi, my name is George Washington. I was born on February 22nd, 1732, and I am married to Martha Washington. Before I fought against the British, I, George Washington, fought for the British, serving as a commander in the French and Indian War. I was a prosperous Virginia farmer who owned hundreds of slaves. George Washington made a flag with Great Britain's flag, the Union Jack, in the corner, surrounded by 13 stripes, representing the 13 unified colonies. This was in January 1776, about 7 months before we declared independence from Britain. I created the first version of the U.S. flag with 13 stars. I kept the 13 stripes and included the 13 stars in a circle representing unification of our country.
My flag looked exactly like Betsy Ross's, except the stars were now in lines instead of a circle. My flag was the first one to be voted by the Continental Congress.
Provide for the common defense, promote Along with those important documents, we also have the Bill of Rights. The very first amendment in the Bill of Rights pertains to having freedom of religion. In these religious groups, we recognize Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Taoism, and Christianity, and other religions. The Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights includes the right to bear arms. Going along with the Third Amendment, which tells us that we have a right to protect our homes. Soldiers can't just enter whenever they want to. They're our homes. And the Fourth Amendment gives us that right to protect our possessions without reasonable warrants. The Fifth Amendment tells us that we have a right to life, liberty, and having these possessions, pursuing happiness. We can move forward with confidence. The Sixth Amendment tells us that we have a right to a speedy and public trial, which goes along with the Seventh. We have a right to a trial by jury. The jury decides who's right, who's wrong, what's right, what's wrong. The Eighth Amendment tells us that there should be no cruel or unusual punishment. The Ninth Amendment also lets us know that our rights don't outweigh the rights of another citizen. There must be a balance. And the 10th Amendment in the Bill of Rights lets us know where powers belong. So if something isn't explicitly given to the federal government, it will be given to the state. And if it isn't specifically given to the state, then it is given to the people. So even though the Founding Fathers had succeeded in creating a new union, things weren't always perfect, and we'll see that we did enter a civil war.
407 years ago, our fathers brought forth this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Now we are engaged in a great civil war, tested whether that nation or any nations so conceived and so dedicated can long endure.
We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live.
It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground.
The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract.
The world will with little note no longer remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here.
It is for us, the living, gathered to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus for nobly advanced.
It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion, that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Monkey wrench.
Monkey.
Get ready, gather the tools you'll need to build shelters. Navigate the journey or defend yourself along the way.
Log cabin. You reached a safe house. Congratulations. You have found new friends who are friends of slaves. Bow tie.
You're looking pretty tardy to discuss yourself. As freed slave, you'll need a change of clothes. The bow tie's quill block is a code to tell you someone will bring you nicer clothes.
Flying geese. Follow the migrating geese north to Canada and freedom.
Drunkard's Path. Go back one space. This quilt block is a sign that slave hunters are near. Double back to elude them immediately.
Trail to freedom. Water is ready to cross on the boat, and the danger means do not cross. The North Star, look to the skies to help you navigate the way. Follow the North Star to Canada. This one is mine. Tumbling blocks. The time has come to box up your belongings. Your escape will be happening soon.
So this is called a freedom quilt. It is used for the slaves that want to be free. They memorize it when they're at the camp, and then they go on like a horse or something, and they follow these to get to the north in Canada.
Oh, that's hers. This is the 15th star flag, and the states that were added are Vermont and Kentucky.
This is the 20-star flag, and the states that were added are Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, and Mississippi.
This is the 21-star flag. The star was added for Illinois.
This is the 24-star flag, and it was added to Missouri.
This is the 26-star flag. It was added for Michigan. This is the 27th star flag. Florida was added.
This is the 28-star flag, and the state that was added was Texas.
This is the 29th star flag. The state that was added was Iowa.
This is the 31-star flag, and California was added. This is the 32-star flag, and the state that was added was Minnesota. This is the 33-star flag, and the state that was added was Oregon. This is the 34-star flag, and the state that was added was Kansas.
This is the 35-star flag, and the state that was added was Virginia. This was the 36-star flag, and the state that we added was Nevada.
This is the 37th star, and the state that they added was Nebraska.
This is the 38-star flag, and the state they added was Colorado.
This is the 43-star flag, and the states that were added was North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Washington, and Idaho.
This was the 44th star flag, added Wyoming.
This is the 45-star flag, created when Utah was added to the United States.
This is the 46th star flag, and the state that was added was Oklahoma.
This is the 48-star flag, and the states that were added are New Mexico and Arizona.
This is the 49-star flag, and the state added was Alaska. This is the 50-star flag, and it was added to Hawaii. It's been our flag 1916. What? It's been our flag since 1916.
Charlene or Eliza?
Before all children had an education, poor families had to send their children to labor in factories and farms, and the children got unfair wages. But I believe all people are created equal, no matter how old or young you are, and I am grateful that children can go to school. There was a time when women and children could not go to school or vote, and the woman could not go to an army or get a job either. But in this generation, it has changed, and we are so happy that it has, because mom needed an education to teach their children. We are so grateful that women's rights are a thing where bad things could happen here.
It's not fair for the blacks and the whites to be separated, and the blacks not to have as many rights as the whites. It's not right to say, no, only whites can come here, do that, or go there.
We are so grateful that you are able to come and join us for this program. But before we let you off the hook, we need to ask, so what? So all of these students have been learning a lot from this program, and we're curious if anyone who's been watching can tell us why this is even important. Why would it be a big deal for us to learn about this history? And I'll bring you the mic. They've been on the spot this whole time, so now you're on the spot. It's okay, we can deal with awkward silence. I know, they're so ready. Come on, family, think about it. Oh, we've got one, we got one.
If we don't learn about where we've come from, we're going to repeat it. And there's some parts of history we'd rather learn from than repeat.
Any other family member out here before we give it over to the students? That was a great comment. Hey, we're coming over here. So what did we learn? Why is this important? I'll start back here and then come up to you, okay?
We don't want it to repeat again, just like she said, because we don't want to have the Holocaust happen again.
So why we did do this is because we want to respect the other people that have died for us, that have died in the war where slavery was still a thing, and they were just fighting for our freedom and rights.
So basically what Emer said, it's like showing respect, that we are basically learning their history, but in a different form, and it's very respectful.
Any other comments?
Basically reenacting the history, and we learned about it so that we know how the past was, and it's really important that we know how it is now, how it came to be like this way.
Some things are better when we learn about them, not do them.
Any other comment? Great, well thank you so much for coming. If we could give another round of applause for these students and all their hard work. And you can clap for yourselves if you want to. You did such a good job. And also a nice big round of applause for Mrs. Peck for letting her students do this.